good morning to all. Because of the difficulties many students are facing in accessing the live classes through Google Meet, from today onwards, we will be switching over to classes by small videos. Each video will have a length of typically 10 minutes, and 2 videos will be uploaded per week. First video on Monday and second video on Friday. After watching these videos, you can prepare your own notes along with the reference from your textbooks. Welcome to the first lesson on magnetic fields in matter. This is the last module in your syllabus. So in this chapter, we will discuss about the different types of magnetic materials. Based on the magnetic properties, materials are basically 3 types: paramagnetic, diamagnetic and ferromagnetic. So we are going to discuss some of the properties of these 3 materials. In the last chapter, we have discussed the magnetic fields produced by different types of current distribution. Mainly, we have discussed the linear, surface and volume current densities. We found that whenever there is an electric current passing through any material, a magnetic field is produced. That is called the magnetic effect of electric current. And in fact, all magnetic phenomena are due to electric current. Magnetic phenomena can be natural or man-made. It can be temporary or permanent. For example, in the case of a permanent magnet, the magnetism is permanent. And in the case of a bar magnet, we cannot see explicitly any current passing through that bar magnet. But in fact, all types of magnetic phenomena, whether it is natural, man-made, permanent or temporary, irrespective of the sources and irrespective of the types, all magnetic phenomena are originating from electric current. So how can we explain different types of magnetic materials? So on an atomic scale, magnetic materials are consisting of electrons. In fact, all materials are consisting of electrons. And electrons in an atom or molecule performs 2 types of motions. They can move around the nuclei in orbits. So it is called the orbital motion of electron. Or along with that, they can also perform spinning motion about their own axis. So electrons are performing 2 different types of motions: orbiting motion around the nuclei and spinning motion about their own axis. So this spinning and orbiting motion of electron results in the movement of charges. So they are typically small magnetic current loops. So macroscopically looking, we can treat these current loops as a very small magnetic dipoles. So they can be treated as magnetic dipoles. Dipole means a small current loop having a north pole and south pole is called a magnetic dipole. So here also this orbiting and spinning motion of the electrons constitute the circular movement of charges, and so they are equivalent to magnetic dipole. Thus each atom or molecule has 2 different types of magnetic dipole moments. One is called orbital magnetic dipole moment and the second one is called spin magnetic dipole moment. These 2 magnetic dipole moments are associated with the 2 different types of motion of the electron in that atom or molecule. And the key factor in deciding the magnetic property of a material is the interaction of these dipole moments with an applied external magnetic field. As you know, the dipole moments are measured in units of ampere meter square and they are vector quantities. Also, ordinarily at room temperature, because of the thermal agitation of atoms or molecules, they are randomly oriented. Because of their random orientation, the associated magnetic dipoles are also in random directions. Therefore, the net magnetic dipole moment of the medium or of the material as a whole will be zero. Or we can say that generally materials are unmagnetized when we view the material as a bulk material. That is, macroscopically speaking, the materials are unmagnetized. But remember that there are a few exceptions to this case. Some materials may be magnetized even in the absence of any magnetic field. That will be discussed later. But what happens when an unmagnetized material is placed in an external magnetic field? In the external magnetic field, each magnetic dipole moment of that material acquires a non-zero torque and they will be aligned in particular directions. And because of this alignment, the material acquires a non-zero dipole moment and we can say the material is magnetized, or it is called magnetically polarized. So in the external magnetic field, generally materials are magnetized. And the extent of magnetization is defined by a term called magnetization. It is quantitatively equal to the magnetic dipole moment per unit volume, or it is the total magnetic dipole moments induced per unit volume if we consider a bulk volume of that material. As you know, magnetization is also a vector quantity and the unit will be dipole moment per unit volume means ampere meter per meter cube, or it is ampere per meter. So the unit of magnetization is ampere per meter. Now the magnetization produced in the material as a result of the external magnetic field depends on the type of the material. The response of the material towards an applied magnetic field can be categorized into three different categories. The first type of materials called neomagnetic materials. They acquire a very weak magnetization opposite to the applied magnetic field. And also they lose their magnetism when the field is removed. They have no capacity to retain the magnetism and they exhibit only a very weak magnetization. The second category of material is called paramagnetic materials. They also acquire a very weak magnetization but parallel to the applied magnetic field. And they have also no capacity to retain their magnetism. They becomes unmagnetized when the external magnetic field is removed. So these two types of materials, that is diamagnetism and paramagnetism, they exhibit only very weak magnetism and they have no capacity to retain their magnetism in the absence of magnetic field. So they cannot be used for making any permanent magnets. And generally we see that the response of these two types of magnetic materials is linear. Linear means the magnetization will be directly proportional to the externally applied magnetic field. And so these two materials can be classified in the linear magnetic materials. The third category of material is called ferromagnetic material. And these materials show a drastic change from the first two categories because they acquire a very strong magnetization aligned parallel to the applied magnetic field. And also here the magnetization is not generally a linear function of applied magnetic field. So these materials are inherently non-linear magnetic materials. Also, another peculiar property of ferromagnetic material is that they have the capacity to retain their magnetism even if we remove the external magnetic field. So these type of magnetic materials are used for making permanent magnets. Thus, in this small lesson, we have discussed some basic properties of the three magnetic materials. Based on this lesson, we should be able to answer the following questions. What are the two different types of magnetic dipole moments an electron can have in an atom or molecule? And you have to give 3 examples for each type of magnetic materials. I have not mentioned any example in the class. The examples can be found from your textbook or from any other material that you have to find yourself. And if you feel any difficulty in answering these questions, please ask me without any hesitation. So thank you for watching this video. The remaining sections will be discussed in the next video.